Thank you very much. And I just want to reiterate what you have said, that we had a good month last month, but we are especially looking forward to even greater things in the month of July. We thank God for what He has done so far, and we entrust ourselves to Him in the month of July, where we shall put our best foot forward, starting as I believe we've already started very well. I would like just to encourage you, especially because this evening, and I think already you've had some recognition, which maybe for the new people or the not so new people, makes you realize that the business is something worth doing and that you're going to reap the benefits of your work. So I encourage you to be ready in the month of July to really give everything your best. I know that in Kenya, there is now, the restrictions have been loosened for traveling, so you can travel more, maybe to build your business in other places, to visit family that you haven't been able to visit. But at the same time, that tells us that as the restriction of COVID are being loosened, it means we have to take care of our customers to keep them well informed about the importance of keeping their immunities fighting strong. Because the more people move around, the higher the chances of picking up an infection. And that means that you need to make sure that your immune system is able to deal very well. It's our responsibility as distributors to give information to our customers and our clients and to all the people whose lives we touch, so that they may know that we have something to offer that is relevant to their needs. So as maybe you saw in your invitation, today I'm not speaking about a specific topic on products, because I saw that questions from last time accumulated a bit. So what I thought was to mainly discuss some of the questions that you had. So that means we'll be talking about different things. And just to reiterate, as I do each time, I am not a doctor and I'm not suggesting that we are going to replace doctors. Our aim in these product sessions is just to familiarize yourself with the lifestyle conditions that we tend to come across and how our products can help the people who come to us for help. Okay, so the first thing I think that we had from last Thursday was someone had a question on autism, which is one of the more distressing illnesses that have been increasing in recent years quite a bit. And some of the findings, as I was reading through the material, is that there are certain of us from childhood that we are not able to deal with certain foods that we now have. And for that reason, one of the things that is recommended when a person has a child who has autism or someone who is living with autism, they should consider eliminating dairy and wheat products, or even foods which have got additives in them. Because it seems that one of the things they are finding that is associated with autism is that their bodies are not able to eliminate toxins efficiently. And so they keep a lot of toxins within their system, and this tends to overrun the brain connection, so that they have certain struggles. So it is recommended, even if just as a test, to try and remove dairy products and wheat products because of the protein called gluten that is found in wheat, and foods which have got colorings and preservatives and so on, and try the autistic person to go on a natural food as much as they can. I know that sometimes it can be difficult because they can be very particular in what they eat. So it can be a struggle to change their diet from what they normally like or what they find easy to eat. But I think given the evidence and some of the experiences of parents of autistic children, it is a worthwhile thing to recommend that they try this elimination from their diet to see if it can help. On the side of the products that we can recommend, and here some of the products may have to be ground if the person is not able to swallow pills, because that can be a possibility. They may have to grind or mix the supplement in food. So the first one is coenzyme Q10, which is available in some of the markets. I know it's not available here in Southern Africa in our market, but it's available in East Africa. It's one of the first products that is recommended for this condition. And then Another one is multimineral. Multimineral alfalfa has been found to be helpful. Then omega-3 to fight inflammation, because remember, we always say omega-3 is very good for fighting inflammation. And as a result of this having difficulty in eliminating toxins and so on, we find that inflammation in the body is going to increase. So omega-3 will be useful, as well as beta-GAD, which helps in detoxing the body. And another product, I know these are quite, I usually try to keep the products as at 3, but it's a bit more because we also add NutriShake, because sometimes a person with autism might have difficulty in eating foods that are rich in proteins. So NutriShake would be a useful addition because it's easy to prepare and it's also easy to take in. So those are some of the products that we can recommend, as well as those lifestyle changes to look at the possibility of removing dairy, gluten, and foods with additives. And you can see that this is what we normally say, that a lot of these foods that are pre-prepared, they tend to be problematic. And if someone has already got problems, then it's a good thing to eliminate them from the diet, even if it's gradually, because sometimes it might not be possible to eliminate everything at once, but to gradually remove what might be harmful and replace them with what is more natural. Then another condition that there was an inquiry about is lupus. Lupus, I think we had a question about lupus a few weeks ago, but I know that sometimes we have new people. So if you ask a question, don't worry if it has been answered before, I will still try to answer, because I know we keep on having new people and sometimes you might not have had the answer previously. So lupus is an autoimmune disorder, and we find that it shows itself in many different ways. For example, there can be rashes, joint pain, fatigue, and so on. And sometimes people have the condition flares up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it comes up again. And they find that the flare-ups can be related to excessive stress in the life of the person. So a point to bring up is if they are able to manage their stress in order to reduce the occurrence of flare-ups. And then also some people find the foods that shown to cause flare-ups as nightshade foods. The nightshade family of foods are things like potatoes, tomatoes, eggplants, you know, this group of plants. So people with lupus can, if they have these foods in their diet, Irish potatoes, not sweet potatoes, Irish potatoes are members of the nightshade. Tomatoes are members of the nightshade. Eggplant, I think also this stuff, mabenda. What is mabenda called in English? Okra. Okra, I think, I'm not sure, but might be a member of the nightshade. But just to see if by removing this item from the diet, if the flare-ups can be reduced. So again, with lupus, what is recommended is a good diet of natural foods with plenty of vegetables and fruits. And again, we will remember when we spoke about autoimmune health, we say that one of the things that has been connected with a lot of these autoimmune problems is that the gut, the lining of the gut might be compromised, so that food which is not properly digested can leak into the circulation. So we recommended that we take steps to repair the lining of the gut. And one of the things, foodstuffs we always mention is bone broth, which is part of many of our cultures, to go back to it and use it. Another thing that is recommended in the lifestyle is if the person is a smoker, smoking worsens the flare-ups and the condition itself. So quit smoking and minimize the intake of alcohol for lupus. On the side of our Neolife products, the first item will be Provitality, because we know that Provitality has got omega-3 to fight inflammation. And we have got the carotenoid complex to reduce the free radicals, oxidative stress, the kind of byproducts of our metabolism that can cause problems. And then it also has threonine and multi, which ensure that we are feeding our cells. So ProVitality is an important product to recommend for lupus, as well as Acidophilus, which I know is available in Southern Africa, but is not available in East Africa, if I remember correctly. But for those who have Acidophilus, it's the next thing, because it helps in repairing the gut and reintroducing friendly bacteria into the system. And if you do not have Acidophilus, another thing that can help in healing the gut is chelated zinc. So that would be the third product. Okay, then, so that is the lupus. And then I had a question, there was a question where we laughed a bit, but later on I thought it's important to take every question seriously. Someone asked about hair loss, and they were not asking about male pattern hair loss where the gents become bald, because that I don't think we have a product that we can say is going to stop that. What they were inquiring is about hair loss in women. And so I was thinking, I mentioned a few things about this. Hair loss in women, of course, is different from hair loss in men, and the causes are also different, because in men is usually the amount of testosterone that the man has that can lead to speed up the balding process. But for women, there can also be, the hair loss can also be related to hormonal changes. So for example, maybe some of you might have observed that pregnant ladies will usually have a lot of hair growing very well. And then once the baby is born, they start having some hair loss. This is because of hormonal changes. Also at menopause, there are also some hormonal changes in the ladies, and it may lead to some increase in hair loss, because there is a normal amount of hair that has got to be lost every day. But I'm talking about an abnormally high degree of hair loss. So also some illnesses. And remember, these illnesses are usually illnesses we've spoken about. So if the person has got this illness, then what they need to do is to deal with that illness. For example, PCOS, we talked about it last time, the time we were talking about autoimmune, as well as psoriasis. This can lead to hair loss. So once again, to deal with this, the way we have spoken about improving our immune system, by avoiding stressing it, because when our immune systems are stressed, then it reacts by autoimmune illnesses. And that PCOS and psoriasis and lupus that we just spoke about are related to that. Then another thing that we may find in our African setting is the overuse of hair relaxers, which tends, if they are overused, they can lead to the death of hair follicles, so that the cells that in the skin that grow hair actually die, so that the hairs can't regrow after they've fallen off. So it would be a good habit to minimize the use of hair relaxers. Either use not more than, I think the recommendation, if you must use, because also each person must do what they feel they need to do to feel good with themselves, but to minimize it to no more than 3 times a year. Another thing that we do that can lead to an increase in hair loss is the use of wigs. So again, maybe to use the wigs minimally and take them off when, I'm thinking especially now that during the lockdown here in South Africa, the hair salons were locked up, so it was not possible to go and have the hairs done. So maybe some of us were resorting to wigs. As for myself, I've been resorting to my caps. You are seeing me with the hat every time. So if we are using wigs, then maybe because a wig prevents circulation on the scalp. And remember that the cells which grow hair are actually living cells. So if there is an overuse for prolonged periods of a wig, then it can lead to some increase in hair loss. So on the side of products, what I will recommend is, if it's a matter of hormonal imbalance, then we'll use the Herbal-Feminine complex to balance out the hormones. If it's a matter of maybe some nutritional deficiencies, then a good place to start would be what we call the Feel Better program, which would be NutriShake and ProVitality, because this covers a lot of the deficiencies that might be there. But especially vitamin B complex is found to help a lot in the growth of hair. So that is one of the important products that we can recommend if it's specifically to see if the poor hair growth is as a result of lack of vitamin B. And then vitamin A plus D can help, especially in places like here in Southern Africa, where in winter months we have got very low sunlight. So we may find that there is a reduction in the amount of vitamin D. But in the more equatorial parts of Africa, I think just making sure that we spend some time exposed to the sun would make sure that we don't have a vitamin D deficiency. So that is hair loss. I hope that it is helpful. Of course, we've got the hair care things, the shampoo and the conditioner. Some people may find that the shampoo dries their hair very much. So what they might do is not use the shampoo very frequently. Maybe on some days, sometimes they can use very small amounts of shampoo and maybe just twice a week if you tend to have a dry scalp. Yeah, I hope that is going to be helpful to the person who asked that question. Then another question I had was about lack of menstrual flow. And here again, the first thing to note is some illnesses can cause the lack of menstrual flow, of which one is PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, that I mentioned before. Another situation can be if a person is underweight, then the body becomes very stressed. And one of the things that the body does to cope is to eliminate the menses. So sometimes people are under a lot of pressure, maybe from society or from the difficult situation of life, that they may find that they are underweight as a result of lack of food. So that can cause the menses to disappear. The opposite also, overweight people, if people become very overweight, can cause the loss of menses because it interferes with the hormones as well, with the reproductive hormones. So on the side of our products that we can recommend, so if someone has got an underlying condition like PCOS or underweight or overweight, of course, the first thing is to see if those can be dealt with. Then we go on to recommend the products that can help. We've said the herbal feminine complex can help to balance the hormones for the ladies. And then Pro-Vitality, once again, to ensure that the nutrients are adequate if there are some lacks here and there. And multimineral alfalfa would also be useful to help with that. So those are what we can recommend for absence of menses. Then another question was about arthritis. So arthritis is a part of the joint health that we speak about in our Neolife University. I think there's one of the courses is on that. So you can get even more information from there. But we find that arthritis can be due to age. As we age, our joints might deteriorate and become, the cartilage in the joint can start wearing off and cause pain, and it can deteriorate quite a bit and even interfere with day-to-day life. Another thing can be overweight, when the skeleton has to carry a lot of weight. Then sometimes the joints, especially the joints of the knees and the ankles and even the hips, can begin to give way as a result of carrying a lot of weight. Another thing also that can lead to arthritis is skeletal imbalances. Let us say that someone had an injury, maybe especially if maybe when you are younger, you got injured, maybe you broke one of the bones and then it healed, but did not heal very correctly. Then what might happen is that it causes your body to try to balance itself out. But in so doing, some joints don't sit properly as they are supposed to. And then it starts that process of grinding in the wrong way, and the cartilage can start to deteriorate and the arthritis can start from there. So that is something just to know, that the older people might have this happening. People who are overweight maybe can see, and I'm thinking one of the next week we probably will talk a little bit about weight management. And if someone had an injury, maybe they would know that the arthritis is because there is an imbalance, and maybe with physiotherapy and so on, they can rectify the imbalance in the skeleton. Then on the side of products, what we recommend, first of all, is full motion, because it's specifically to help in repairing the cartilage in the joints. And then we have Pro-Vitality, which once again has got the omega-3 in it, which is going to help reduce inflammation in the joints, as well as providing those other nutrients. And CalMag would also be helpful for this condition. So Pro-Vitality, full motion, and possibly CalMag. If the person is not able to buy the third product, is okay, because Pro-Vitality has got multi, which contains some amount of CalMag in it. But because they already will be having arthritis, maybe especially for the old people, CalMag would be a useful item to add. Then I see my time is running out. So the last question I had from last time was spinal injury. Probably the person did not quite clarify, but I'm assuming it's as a result of some traumatic event from an accident or from sports. And a number of products that can be helpful here would be, there are a fair number of them. Once again, maybe we can say Pro-Vitality would be helpful because it gives a range of supplements, but at the same time, vitamin C is useful in the healing of the spine, and vitamin B complex would also be useful, as well as vitamin E, which helps to protect nerves, because one of the dangers of spinal injuries is the destruction of nerves. So vitamin E can have a role to play. And yeah, then Pro-Vitality will provide the omega-3 to reduce inflammation, as well as carotenoid complex to relieve any oxidative stress that comes from the injury. So I think that, yeah, my time is up. Pascal is here and ready to go. And we are very excited because there's going to be some lovely recognitions. And for us, it's very encouraging, the news we have been getting from the different regions where we are involved. And we are just very thankful that you are working hard. And we know that the only way that you will not fulfill your dreams is to give up. But if you keep on keeping on and you give it your best every day, we have no doubt that good things await. So I want to leave you by encouraging you very much to keep on trying. If maybe what we are talking about doesn't refer to you and you feel that last month was not so good for you, I still encourage you to go out there and give it another try, because what you have learned so far is going to help you to do better this month. So nothing is ever wasted, I find. If we are learning more and practicing, we are only getting better. It's only when we abandon our posts that we find that our knowledge is no longer beneficial, because we keep it to ourselves, and we stop putting in the efforts. And as I always say, what we are doing as Neolife distributors is something of great importance in our continent. So go out there. There are people waiting to hear what you have to say. Do not be quiet. Speak to the people who you find around you, and you will be a positive force in their lives. Thank you very much. I'll hand you over to Pascal, and well done everybody in what you have achieved. And we await even better news in July. Thanks. So I will maybe join you again if there are questions for me, but now here is Pascal, waiting to talk to you.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Paul, can you hear me? Okay, give me 2 minutes. I think get us ready. Give me 2 minutes. I need to sort out something on my laptop. Yes, I'm ready, Paul. Good evening, everybody. I think I'm very excited to share this moment with you. I think the business has got quite some considerable growth in the last month. Let me just set up my screen properly. Okay. All right, I want to thank all of you for such a wonderful time. And you know, I remember this week on Monday, I had a directors meeting with one of our leaders, Charles and Judith Njeru, and she commented that when there was lockdown and this COVID-19, there was quite a bit of panic among distributors. What are we going to do? Everybody is being locked down. How will we build our business? But I think from what has happened the last 3 months, this situation has been a great blessing in disguise. Because when I spoke to, I think I spoke to either Paul Matu or Drew McDermott, the business has grown by 21% from May to June. And since February, the business has gone up almost 45%. So all these challenges that have been happening to us in the business has actually been a blessing in disguise. And I'm very, very excited about what is going to happen. I truly believe July is going to be the turning point of our entire business in the African continent. So I want to share with you a few of the results that we've seen in our team. This mostly is our entire network, the Murigis and Fred Gichuki, and some of our distributors from Nigeria. I'd like to welcome the guests who are here. I know not everybody in this meeting is a guest. I mean, is not a distributor. Some of them are guests. We'd like to welcome you for this recognition session. We really appreciate your being here. And I want to encourage you to take this business seriously, because what we have seen the last month or the last 2 months is really fantastic. Going to our new distributors, just in our team alone, including Fred Gichuki and Fred Murigi, we've had 143 new distributors joining our team. So that is really fantastic effort, everybody. If wherever you are, please clap for yourself. That is really fantastic work. We have 71 new managers for the month of June. We had 45 new senior managers, and to crown it all, we've had a new director, David Muthini. I don't know whether David is in the meeting tonight. Paul, I don't know whether you can identify David. I think, David, if you're there, just send us a chat or send us a note so that we can recognize you properly. Okay, probably he's not available immediately. And then we also have new Emerald directors, Samuel and Madris Ntakanyo. I think those are people in Josphat Opiaros's team. Samuel and Madris, if you're there, please raise your hand. We would like you to say a few words, if not now, but later on. I see. Okay. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. It is wonderful. Pascal, thank you so much at the Paul for the meeting. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel. We really appreciate your efforts. and you appreciate your leadership, and you never say die attitude, because to succeed in this business, you really have to be committed, and that brings a lot of joy to us. New World team members, I know two people who are working very hard and have taken steps. The first one is Eric and Diana Wino. I think they have taken their first step to SAFA director. Congratulations. I know Grace Chege also has taken another one step to, because she had 3 qualified legs. We really appreciate. And I need to mention about Grace, because Grace has sponsored people in the USA, people in the UK, people in Scotland, and one of them has done 3 in 30 and become a senior manager. So we really appreciate the effort that you make in the business. The next is top 10 personal sponsoring. These are really people who have really put their effort to get the business up and running. And at the top of the list is Josphat and Pierrot's Karaoke. They sponsored 10 distributors in June. Sylvia and Chadwick Guibo has sponsored 4. Damaris Njoroge and Harun Gatheru has sponsored 3. Millicent and Joseph Maguke 3. Lydia and Ruth Mwesa 3. Anne Mamboa and Philip Mabiti 3. Emma Wahinya and Olive Wachango 3. Rosemary Luvandere and Sharon Andisi 3. Helen Murakwa and Dennis Juma 3. Margaret and Charles Amulavu 3. And Elizabeth Kagunga 3. This Elizabeth is in Scotland, so welcome. I hope she is in this Zoom meeting. And then just to mention that 23 other distributors sponsored 2 people each, and 93 distributors sponsored 1 person each. So as you can see, this 747 jet has really taken off on the runway. And Paul, I think we can. I can speak on behalf of the team that by the end of this year, I understand yesterday Tanzania took all the trophies, isn't it? But as we say, in Kenya, no human is limited. We are coming. I see Dr. King, Joyce and Howard Kingo are smiling because they come from Tanzania. Anyway, you've laid that gauntlet down for us, and we are going to take up the challenge. So we really appreciate all the distributors who have made a tremendous effort to really get the business running. But before we go to the next one, I'd like our top personal sponsoring couple, Josphat and Pierrot's Karaoke, to say a few words, because I know they're in this Zoom call. Paul, so if you can unmute Josphat and Pierrot's Karaoke, you tell us a few words before we go on to the...
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, this is Pierrot. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much for the chance. We are excited, and we thank God for giving us this time and actually to do this business at such a time. So we are excited to sponsor, and even for the overall sponsoring, the way it has really come up. Congratulations to everybody. And this month of July, I think we can even do better. We did 10, and yet we had put ourselves to do 20. And I know this month we are going to get to our target. And so I want to wish everybody well, and let's go for it. We are more than able, and we are sure in the next 6 months, Kenya is really coming up, and we are going to be at the top. God bless.
Thank you very much, Pieros. I really appreciate your leadership in Kenya. The next is a 3 in 30 contest in terms of the Neolife's 3 in 30 program. At the top of the list, we have Margaret and Charles Amulabu, 2-star, 3 in 30. Second is Damaris Wairimu and Harun Joroge, 1-star. Pauline Gogo and Dennis Abuye, 1-star. Fezio Mohammed and Mohammed Aden, 1-star. Evans Kebelenge Lubanga, 1-star. Helen Murako and Dennis Juma, 1-star. Catherine and Wafula Kasembeli, plain. Emma Wahinya and Olive Wachango, plain. And then Yemisi and Abiodu Johnson from Nigeria, plain. So we want to congratulate all those people who have done the 3 in 30. I don't know if Margaret and Charles Amulavu are in the call. Yes. Yes. Oh, Chadwick and Sylvia, congratulations for your 3 in 30 superstar. I think I didn't pick up that from the sheet. My apologies, but we really appreciate your effort. I think your leadership in Nakuru is really fantastic. I saw your session that you did about a month ago. It's really exciting, and we look forward to, I hope that this Corona thing will get over so that we can meet in person. We really appreciate we appreciate the work that you have done for the East African business. So is Margaret and Charles on this call?
Hello. We are we are very glad to be honored to be given this superstar, which is a testimony of our unfailing commitment to this business. And I would like to encourage everybody to do all that they can to do good sponsoring regularly so that they can also achieve this step. I know that it is a step that you have always desired to become, and by the grace of God, we have reached here, and we are very, very grateful. We also want to say thank you to all the team members that we lead for their support. Thank you very much. We are very happy. Thank you very much. Back to you, Paul. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paul, and the great team that you are working with. I just want to say it's a commitment, and the amazing thing is that none of the people we sponsored was on our name list per se. They are just people who came along the way, so it's good to share at every moment, and we're actually able to develop 2 managers from that 3 in 30. So we just keep talking to people every day. Thank you very much, Paul.
Wow, great. We really appreciate that recognition, and what we want to tell people is that it is possible. If you set the goal and work the plan, it is possible. Thank you very much.
Okay, then we go to personal production. I really saw some amazing statistics in this personal production. I can see some of the distributors are gaping. This business can be done, I tell you. The top personal production is Joe and Bella Bogonko, 5,640 personal PV. They are able to qualify as director without anybody in their team. Then David and Rachel Muthini, 5,081 PV. Gerald and Rita Zirimwagabo, 3,240. Minakshi and Ajit Singh, 2,482. Patrick and Gladys Macharia, 2,194. Eric and Diana Owino, 2,100. Lisa Christopherson, 2,049. Salim Baganala, 1,888. Emma Wahinya and Olive Wachango, 1,771. You notice Emma Wahinya has appeared twice. It means they're very serious about the business, because I saw they also had 3 personally sponsored legs. Fantastic, Emma. And then Pauline Muinde, 1,439. You see, personal production, the competition was so stiff. When I counted the number of people who've done over 1,000 points, personally, there are 22. The people who have done between 500 and 999 are 65. And the people who have done between 250 and 499 are 365 people. So, Paul, you can see that the team is really revving now. They are really going to tear this thing apart. So I want to congratulate everybody. I don't know whether Joe and Bella are in this call. Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll send a congratulations message to all these people. This is really a fantastic job. And we really appreciate all the effort and all the hard work that you have done. And I think you're going to be rewarded for this fantastic effort that everybody is putting. Neolife gives a commitment to all distributors. If you want
Wahinya, maybe I can just mute her to say hi from that group of people.
All right, fantastic.
So Emma, if you can hear me, I'm just unmuting you right now, so that you can be able just to say hi on behalf of the top 10, personal PVs that we have today. Emma, if you can hear me, please accept to be unmuted right now. Just trying to unmute her. Emma is a new distributor. I think she's 2 or 3 months in the business.
Wow.
She's quite new in the business. Unfortunately, I'm not able to unmute her. Emma, if you can hear me, please accept to be unmuted so that we can be able to just say congratulations to you. All right, Pascal, you can proceed. If I get her, we'll be able to let her just say something as we move on.
Okay. Those are the categories that we wanted to do recognitions of. There are lots of people who've done fantastic job. New managers, new senior managers, people who have done 1,000 points each personally. It's really fantastic to see people who are really putting effort in this business. I think when the right forum comes, all the people who've done the various steps are going to have their recognition done. We noticed that because of the lockdown in different countries, for example, today we received a letter from Neolife that the Southern African Convention has been cancelled. So most of us have nowhere to go. They had a virtual. Yeah, I understand East Africa had their virtual rally. Southern Africa, we'll yet to know. We'll announce to the team if we're going to have ours in Southern Africa. But for those people in East Africa, our team in Nigeria, South Africa, Tanzania, we really appreciate for the work that you have done. And so I'd like to end here. I don't know if there were any questions that people asked that may need Betty's attention. Paul?
I've been able to get a couple of questions here. I just want to read to read them through, and Betty can be able to see what she can be able to respond. One is from Christy. Christy is from Tanzania. That one I can be able to answer, and she was saying, we do not have full motion in Tanzania. Christy, we have been able to successfully register full motion in Tanzania, and it should be selling as we talk. So get in touch with the office in Tanzania, and you'll be able to get full motion there already. There's David who was asking about the minimum points to get a check, to receive a check, and I already said that we'll be able to consider doing a compensation plan. But David, you can also, I'll also be able to give you a call personally and take you through that. Dixon is asking, what are the products that we can be able to give to somebody who has high nerves problem, which has costed him like 40% of the sight. Okumu Makongora is asking about cutaneous wart. I'm not sure whether I've pronounced that well. Cutaneous warts on skin, what product we can be able to give. We also have Ellen who is asking what product she can be able to give to somebody who has backache. Felix is asking what products we can recommend for somebody who has swollen ankles. I think it's joints. Leah is asking if next time if we can be able to touch something to do with asthma and stroke. And I can see Connie is also talking about nerves. Like I'm not sure whether the nerves are related to what this Dixon is asking. So those are some of the questions that I've been able to pick so far. So I bet you can pick one or two, and whatever remains, we can be able to take it next week.
Will you do the one of the points?
Okay, the one of the points in the Neolife compensation plan, to get a check, you need to reach 250 personal points.
Sure.
Then you get, or if you do 100 points and your team reaches 500 points, then you get a check. Okay, I hope that is clear for, that was David, isn't it?
Yeah, that was David. So David, I think you are clear on that, but just get in touch with your helpline. They'll be able to take you through more in terms of, because we also have some incentive ways that you can be able to earn a check.
Okay.
We can talk a bit about asthma.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe I can quickly speak about asthma, because this is one of the group of conditions we come across that have to do with allergies. And so the first thing is with asthma is to try and find out what is causing the reaction, what causes the asthmatic attacks to flare up. In some places, it could be allergens in the house, like maybe the mattress. Some people, if they change the mattress or they remove carpets or things like that, it can help with relief. But some people have got allergens like in the atmosphere that cannot be avoided. So on our side from Neolife, we can offer them herbal respiratory if it's available in your market, herbal respiratory complex. And then omega-3 to help with the inflammation, because one of the reactions of the allergy is to have inflammation. And then for those who live in temperate places, vitamin A plus D will help. Remember, I say that because if you are able to get plenty of sunshine, then it's unlikely that you have a vitamin D deficiency. But if you are in a part of Africa where sometimes the sun is a bit distant, that can be a factor. And yeah, the main thing with asthma is try and identify what causes the allergy. And then also remember that sometimes the allergy is from food that is being taken, like foods which have got additives like colorants and preservatives. Some people react to them in this way. So identify the allergens, and then they can also use the products, and of course the medication as they let the body heal itself. Someone mentioned backache. I'm not sure what to say about this, because if it's as a result of arthritis, then the things we spoke about in arthritis are relevant. If it's as a result of back injury, then what we were speaking about in the spinal injury would be relevant. And another thing to note about backache is that it could be as a result of bad posture, because in these days where we are spending a lot of time bent over screens like the laptops, and even right now we are using our screens, all of us, we need to remember that sitting is not a natural, sitting in chairs is not the best for us. So it's good to not sit for prolonged periods. And bending over the screen also can lead to our having back problems, back and shoulder problems. So if some of the exercises are available that can help to work towards a better posture. So to sit properly upright during work, and to hold the screen in such a way that your back is not bent. But if it's as a result of arthritis, then of course we go with the arthritis things that we spoke about just now. So I think that is what I can remember just now from the questions. The others, thinking that possibly the best thing will be to look through the chats, and then and also I think there are some private questions that we will look in and answer next time. I hope, I don't know if there's someone who urgently, because if you need the answer today, then maybe sometimes it's good to indicate if we have to answer today. Otherwise, I think the others we can do for next time. Is that fine, Paul?
I think that is fine. I'll be able to give you a summary of the few that I've been able to pick, and then we can be able to answer them next week.
Yes, and for those who want to ask privately, you can also send a question through to us in Pascal's phone number. I think you have it, so you can send there. Also, if you want the question to be answered like soon, like by tomorrow, then you can also do that. Then I'll just send you a message by WhatsApp or something like that. Okay. So thank you very much. Let me hand you back to Pascal, and let's have a great month, shall we? We go out there and work hard.
Thank you, Betty.
Okay, yeah, I see so many questions on the screen. I think we're going to answer some of these questions next time. Pancreatitis program. Yeah. How can you help a 1 to 6 year old who does not sit or talk? Saliva keeps coming from the mouth. Okay, we are going to write this. Paul, if you can keep record of some of these things, and
yes,
please send to us.
Yeah.
Then we'll be able to answer. I just want to make through the last 3 months, I think we've had really exciting times with the training, and we've had a cycle going twice to learn about the basics of the business. So the other day, Betty and I were thinking that there are some people who start the business and they want a training that gives the complete picture of the business. I remember when we started the business, we used to have something called nuts and bolts. Joyce and Howard, do you know nuts and bolts? We would have complete training of the whole business, from starting, taking steps, doing follow-up, doing how to build a name list, how to present the business, how to take your steps, how to build a team. So we are organizing a nuts and bolts for people who are just starting off in the business and want to have a clear and complete grasp of the whole business in one training session. So we are going to send you the date and the time. It should take about 1.5 hours. And The 1.5 hours is to give you a complete picture of what you need to do to build a strong business. And then later on during the, I think sometime in August, we want to have a leadership training. When you become a director or emerald, there are some things you need to learn: how to be a leader, how to build your business, how to manage a team, how to grow to the next level. These are very important things, because our business doesn't just teach you about making money. Our business teaches you how to be a complete person. And that's what we aim to do. We want to build leaders in our team. We want to build Neolife in Africa to be the best region in the world. Not just among the, we want to build Neolife Africa to be the best in the world. And we need to put every effort, all the resources, all the training, and all the thinking that we can have to build a strong business for our African continent. So I want to end this session with just a few thoughts that have been occurring to in my mind the last 1 week. The first one is this: that if you want to succeed in this business, you need to learn how to endure some level of discomfort, some level of pain. One of my mentors, whom of course I haven't met her, is Lisa Nichols. She says that convenience and commitment don't share the same bed. If you want convenience, don't join this business. If you want commitment, then put aside convenience. You need to know that if you are going to succeed in this business, you need to accept some level of inconvenience. That will come as a result. Some people are telling you no, they're not interested in the business. Sometimes you'll set up a meeting and people don't show up. I mean, that has happened to me the last 1 week. I had a Zoom meeting and I invited 30 people and nobody showed up. It happens to everybody. So if it happens to you, know that you're on the right path. If you don't have any challenges in your business, go down on your knees and ask God, don't you trust me anymore? Bring me more challenges. I say that because it's only challenges that makes us strong. I have never seen a tree which is very strong and is hidden in the forest. The trees which are very strong are the ones are up high in the mountain. The winds and the cold and the rain hits the tree. When you try and cut down that tree, you will need a machine to be able to put it down. That is what challenges do for our business. That is what challenges do for ourselves. They make us stronger. So if challenges come your way, you need to know that you're on the right path. The second idea that I would like to share with you is this: learn to take time to look after yourself. A friend of mine the other day was telling me that he gets very nervous and he doesn't know how to regulate his time. I want to suggest to you not to get involved in what I call WIG. What is WIG? WIG is wasteful information gathering. Do not get involved in things that do not lead you to your goals. For example, if you want to be a leader in this business, why do you want to go and study the life of butterflies? You need to concentrate all your effort in where you are going. Concentrate all your thoughts in where you are going. Don't get involved in things that do not make you happy, things do not contribute to your family growth, things that take you away from your business, things that take you away from your family. My priorities are very simple: faith, family, finance. God first. Second is my wife, Betty. The most important human being of my entire existence is Betty. And ladies, the most important person in your life is not your children, it's your husband. Okay? So faith, family, finance. Business always comes last, because the reason why you're in this business is because of your family. So get your priorities right. I hope some of these ideas are going to help you to build your business so that when the future comes, you'll be able to look back with pride and say, I gave it my best. So I'd like to hand over back to Paul. I wish all of you a happy month and a successful. I know some of you are going to make steps this month. So Paul, thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you so much, Pascal and Betty, for taking us through today's session. It was quite interactive and time for us to be able to learn as always. So mine is just to challenge everybody who's on this call. Let's take those aspects and nuggets of the business and just put them to use, and let us continue to grow our business wherever we are, because I've been able to see so many people from different places. So let's continue to grow our business. Let's make the month of July one of the biggest months in the history of Neolife. Last month was one of the biggest in the history of Neolife, but we can make this now another one of the biggest. You know, there is nothing wrong to do that. It's always an amazing time because we can continue to share our business. So remember to share our business opportunity wherever you are. Make sure people are joining and coming to this business. And let's continue. As we say, our mission is to make the world a healthier and a happier place to be. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful night. Remember, tomorrow we're having the Swahili session. It's going to be a nice session. So if you have noticed, my Zoom link, it doesn't change. So in case you have somebody that you must invite today and have not shared the link, just edit one of the links which is starting at 7 and share. They will be able to get into the meeting when we start the meeting the next day. So thank you so much. Have a lovely night. For those who are able to meet me tomorrow, see you tomorrow in the office. The rest of you, have a lovely night and continue to shine. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Pascal. Good night, Pascal and Betty.
Thank you, everybody.